Assalamu alaikum. My name is Thuriya Mustafa. I'm a student from majored in information systems. In this video, I'm going to talk about a computer science field or area called data mining. So I'm going to talk about what data mining is about. I'm going to talk about data mining applications in different areas. I'm going also to talk about the KDD process, what is about, and briefly talk about each stage, introduction of each stage. So the fourth thing I will talk about and focus on is the vote classifier. So we will see a vote classifier. What is a vote classifier in Weka? So in next video or second part of this video, I'm going to talk about or practice the data mining in Weka. Weka is an open software source software that has many data mining techniques and tools enabled to mine data. So I'm going to talk about vote classifier, what is it, how it works, and why do we need this technique. Well, first of all, what is a data mining is? So basically data mining is a process that extracts useful knowledge from raw data. So it enables machine to learn more, where it defines a hidden patterns in the data set. So the knowledge discovered or produced is useful to make critical decisions, enable businesses to work better, operate better, and also to compete better. So where actually data mining is used or applied. So data mining is primarily used today by companies with customer focus like retail, financial, communication, marketing organizations, and others. They use data mining in order to dig into data and determine many purposes. For example, to determine the pricing strategy, customer preferences, customer satisfaction, and also to define the corporate profit as well. So in data mining, for example, if we consider retailers can use point of sale records or transaction of customer purchase in order to, for example, develop products, and for example, in order to make promotions to appeal to specific customer segments, for example. So in addition, there are other areas use data mining like future healthcare, market basket analysis, education, customer relation management, fraud detection, and others also. So this is what application of the data mining applications in different areas. So now we will talk about the KDD process. As I have mentioned previously in the data mining definition, that data mining is a process. So a KDD stands for knowledge discovery and data mining. So it's a data miner as a good practice need to pass all the 8 processes in order to increase the accuracy and reduce the errors. I'm going just briefly and introducing each stage of the KDD. So the first stage of KDD is the problem specification. The main sub-processes of this stage is number 1, to create data dictionary. Data dictionary means that to describe each attribute's properties. For example, the attribute's name, type, distincts, missing values related to that attribute. You need to mention them and make sure all of them are there. Number 2, you need to determine the high-level task and low-level task. The high-level task basically means can be 2. Either you build your model for making description, or you build your model to predict something. For prediction, you build a model using a past data in order to predict new and unknown output of new cases. But when you want to describe or make a description, means that you are building a model derived from past data to better understand the data. So in my case, in the next video I'll be practicing Weka. I'm going to use a dataset, a weather dataset, Main high-level task of my dataset is to make a prediction. But what is a low-level task? A low-level task is that you choose the type of data mining. It can be either for classification, clustering, regressions, and others. In my case, I'm going to use classification. I'm going to classify my dataset into labels, as we can see. The second step of KDD is resourcing. The main sub-processes of this process is that we need to define or make sure all project resources are available, from hardware, software, skills available in the organization as well. One more thing you need to make sure is that the data collection. Data is collected, all necessary attributes are there, and well structured and formatted as well. The data set can be formatted in ARFF or CSV file formatted. The third step of KDD is the data cleansing, the most important one. The data cleansing, this step this step is critically done to get accurate results, empty of errors and missing data. So there are three main sub-processes. The first one, remove the errors. Removing errors means in dataset somehow the negative sign is inserted by mistake or accidentally by someone. So you need to remove these negative signs in front of each value in each attribute. This is number one. One another thing, you need to make sure that you replace the missing values. Weka has a technique called replace missing values. It's a filter used in order it replaces automatically all the missing values in all attributes. The third sub-process, which is removing the outliers and extreme values. Weka has also a technique called interquartile range. It removes all the outliers and extreme values from dataset. So this is what data cleansing is about. The fourth step, which is pre-processing. It has also sub-processes. The first one, feature construction. Feature construction means that you create new attribute from existing attributes. Weka has a technique that uses a technique called add expression. It uses this technique in order to create new attributes. The second sub-process, which is feature selection, or we can call it by attribute selection. Weka has also a technique called attribute selection where it selects or reduces the number of attributes by selecting the most attribute that contributes the most in the prediction. The last sub-process, which is discretization. Discretization is where Weka can reduces the number of values within an attribute. This is all the processes of pre-processing stage. We need to make sure that these are done in order to get the high accuracy with low errors. This is actual data mining is done, where in this stage data mining and model selection. So in this stage we obtain or optimize many models or classifiers, or we can call them by algorithms, in order to obtain the best prediction. So in my case, I'll be using many classification models to obtain best prediction, but mainly I'll be focusing on a model that combines all these classification models into one single model. This model determines the agreement point of all chosen algorithms, called vote classifier. So algorithms are created for many purposes and solve different problems, for example the regression and classification problems as well. So in the sixth stage is that after each model make a prediction and get a result, that result is evaluated by a technique used by Weka, where it evaluates the performance of each model. The seventh stage, which is the interpretation. means that when reducing the knowledge, we need to involve our domain experts. For example, if I have a knowledge related to a supermarket, for example, if I have determined that product A actually influences on product B, so I need a marketing analyst in order to define what is the marketing recommendation to increase the sales of product A and B. This is what domain experts involvement means. So the last step of KDD is exploitation. In this step, we need to use our knowledge produced by each algorithm in order to make critical decisions that reflects with benefits and advantages to the organization. This is all stages and processes of KDD. Now, what is a vote classifier is about? So a vote classifier is the technique used to combine models or algorithms. It's also used called ensemble. This technique used in solving many regression and classification problems, and the majority of algorithm results are combined and calculated. So how actually it works? Number one, a data miner chooses algorithm to build a model. So different algorithms are chosen to be built and in one single model. So each model creates a sub-model to make a prediction. Let's say a data miner has chosen J48 and have chosen another classifier called random forest. So each of these algorithms or classifiers make its own prediction. So what happens next? Step 3, results of each will be combined in somehow, like taking the mean or mode of all predictions. Step number 4, it allows all the submodels to vote on what should the outcome of this prediction be. This is how a vote classifier actually works, and it's as we say, the model that combines by simple voting of individual model output predictions. So what are the advantages of that vote classifier, and why would you use it? The vote classifier enable to better predictions accuracy with less errors. If output predictions are highly correlated, then less reduction in errors. This is the relationship this is what happens between the accuracy and reduction of errors. One more thing is that this model is non-biased nature model. Means that the model is not influenced by one model results only, but it takes fairly into consideration all the model's votes and results as well. So this is all about data mining and the vote classifier and the KDD processes. In the next video, I'm going to practice the KDD and the vote classifier as well. Thank you for listening.